Lights, cameras, action. Now let's engage in the dialogue. Let me browse through your mind like a catalog. Conscious metaphysics, allow me to break down the specifics. Educate, motivate. If you don't feel free, you can liberate. An LLC is what I'm building, the #1 podcast in the building. So let me slide on up in the Bentley truck in my Versace shirts. They can't get enough of this deep conversation, expansion, elevation. I'll send you a link you can tap in. It ain't quite what I used to do back then. Now I get it on the front and the back end. Multiple money streams keep coming in. Enlightened, empower, evolve. Enlightened, empower, evolve.
Just in time, I'm Luke Bryan Smith, and welcome to Enlightened, Empowered, Evolved. I know everyone's doing well and everything is unfolding perfectly. I am excited yet again because I have an amazing guest, another amazing guest, who is a mindset and success coach and a #1 best-selling author, and a lot more. But I'll just stick with that. Without further ado, I introduce to you Eva Krempa. How are you doing today, Eva?
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much, Luke, for having me here with you today. It's an honor and I'm doing fantastic. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the wonderful introduction as well.
Absolutely. And I also want to extend my sincerest gratitude to you once more, because I'm a firm believer that time is one of our most precious assets. And for you to choose to spend a moment of your time in the history of your timeline here with me is much appreciated. Thank you very much, Eva.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you so much. And that's what we are here for, to inspire one another, to learn from one another, and just advance forward in life, right? So I'm honored to be here as well. Thank you so much for inviting me
Yes,
to
yes,
your
yes.
podcast. Super
And I
excited.
and I love that that saying that you have there, living extraordinary life. Oh wow, that's amazing, because that reminds me that we have to not have to, I don't want to use that word. I'm careful the way I the words I choose, but thrive in life, not just exist. And that's reminds me to do that. Just reading that right there.
Yes,
Yes.
thank you so much. Yeah, I try to, depends what event I do, I change the background to kind of be like, right there in the face. It's like, hey, remember
Yes.
this, live extraordinary life. Because you're right, we are here for a very short time, if you actually look at the big picture. And we want to be happy and advance in life and live that life to the fullest that we can, right? So
Right.
every moment is precious.
Right. Right. If I might ask, where are you originally from? I'm only saying that because of your accent.
I am originally born and raised in Poland,
Oh
and I
wow.
actually moved to Canada long time ago, but in 1993. And I actually moved to Canada without speaking any English. So my first few years being in Canada was a bit challenging, let's put it that way. But yeah, I am born and raised in Poland, and I've traveled to many countries, but my family, my parents decided to settle in Canada. You know.
That is amazing, because also met a wonderful couple um, last year in, I believe it was the Dominican Republic, and they are from Poland. They live in the on the East Coast, somewhere near New York. His name is Roman, or Roman, and
Roman.
we text each other every now and then. But amazing couple. Um, yeah, yeah, they're from Poland. So yeah, that's amazing. So I want to get right into it. I want to touch on you are a mindset and success coach. Can you elaborate and give us some detail on how that came about and what you do, and just whatever you want to tell us about that?
Of course, my pleasure. As much as I was living quite colorful life. Deep down inside, I wasn't truly happy in whatever was going on. And it all started when I actually go back to the roots. It all started when I moved to Canada, not because it's not a great country or anything like that. It has nothing to do with that. It was the fact that I didn't speak any English when I came here. And when you come as a teenager, it's quite challenging, because nobody wants to be your friend. You don't speak the language. Nobody wants to play with you, and it's, it takes some time to actually be fluent in the language, right? And
Right,
but
right,
when you are not really in it, or like, you have to do it, it takes you that much longer. So being a teenager, it was a hard thing for me to get through. And I didn't get through it for a long time, because as much as I had to learn English, go to school, many other things were happening, trying to get to, you know, adopt to a new culture. Everything was so new to me. And when I think back, it was almost 30 years ago, and the times were quite different back then. You couldn't just
right,
pick up a book like in our culture and it's like, oh, okay, self-development, how to be happy. Well, we kind of shoved it under the rug and you continue with your life. I never worked with emotions until years later. And then another thing happened and another thing. And then, before I knew it, as much as I started to love traveling, and actually I got addicted to travel. I call it addiction because I've been to over 50 countries. And you know
wow,
what? It's just something that moved me forward despite what was happening inside my mind, my heart, right? Because I wasn't happy. But the
right,
travel, moved me forward to kind of like balance it for that time.
right.
And as life continued, I actually talk about it in the Midlife Awakening, which is the first book. I actually shared my story for the first time about the
Wow.
hardships, about the things, how I came from, the background I did. Um, and I share how in
Oh, excuse me.
2000, sorry, go ahead.
No, no,
Oh,
I dropped a book, so I was saying,
okay.
excuse me. I
Yeah, no
thought
worries.
you heard it, but no, go ahead.
Yeah,
So,
I
Midnight
remember.
Awakening, you got inspired. You received inspiration from that.
Well, what happened is throughout the years, I dipped into Dr. Wayne Dyer, different
Wayne Dyer.
teachers
Yes,
throughout the years, but I never really studied and went deep within. I did, I had to say, scratch the surface, dabble into it. I actually met Dr. Wayne Dyer in Vancouver in
oh wow,
2012. It was an
wow,
amazing conference that he had, and I remember that exercise he did with us, and it still remains like, in the back of my mind, how he was able to so, I was always inspired by all these teachers and all the things they did, but I always like dipped in, dipped out, dipped in, I never really took it quite seriously, right? Until 2021, where in 2018, actually, my daughter was born. And as I sat there, I'm like, I can't be doing what I'm doing and bringing this child into this world where part of my mindset is like toxic negative, right?
right,
And I'm holding on to things from the past. So at that time, I sat there and I'm like, I got to change my mindset. And that's when I really dove deep into personal development. And I started with Bob Proctor. But
wow,
he
Bob Proctor.
actually, yeah, Bob Proctor. And his when I first saw him in The Secret in 2006, I'm like, oh, okay, cool, nice guy. And, the story was nice about The Secret. Everything was beautiful. But at that time, I used a lot of The Secret to actually attract more traveling to the world, into my life. Not so
Yes,
much fixing my mindset and everything. I'm like, yeah, I get to use The Secret to travel more. And that's how I traveled, and more traveling, all these wonderful places I went to. But when my daughter was born, it was a true awakening for me at that time, because that's when I sat down and was like, I can't do what I'm doing to myself and kind of like transfer it, as they say, to another human being, because whatever we do, our kids pick up on it, right? And that's when I'm like, okay, I signed up for Bob Proctor. I did Tony Robbins programs. I like dove deep into so many things. It was amazing. It was like, and that's where I've always wanted to write something, you know, but there was never a time until earlier this year. I'm like, oh my God, that's exactly what I want to do. I want to share my story. And when Linda, she's the CEO of Action Takers Publishing, came up with a Midlife Awakening title, I'm like, that's me. You know, I want to write my story in there. And that's when it started. And I thought, oh, I'll just do one, you know, share my story, close that chapter, you know, kind of thing. But you know what? It didn't stop there. I ended up doing another one, which is called Never Give Up, when I shared more of my stories from the past, how I used to be suicidal, how I used to go through so many other emotions, things like that. And I realized this is my thing, you know, sharing my stories, hoping to inspire somebody and, you know, share my message that whatever's happening to your life, you can overcome it. You just
Right.
use the right tools.
Exactly.
Because I didn't have that when I was growing up. You know, parents were busy
Right.
doing their thing. I was trying to move forward in my life, and I struggled, but I still moved forward. But it wasn't, I
Right.
didn't have the tools back then, right? Basically like, you know what, just get over it, move on, kind of thing. That's how it used to be, right?
Right.
So
Right.
when all these things started coming to me, opening the doorways start opening for me, I felt so inspired to be able to be that inspiration for others now, you know, that you can always move from where you are and shift your mindset to something new. And because that's what I did, it worked for me, I know it can work for somebody else too, right? Anyways, I
Absolutely.
couldn't talk about it for the whole day.
Yes.
But that's
No.
how it all started, you know, from where I was to transforming my mind to making that decision that this is it. I don't want to do this anymore. I want to step out of this and go into something different. Shift my mindset was making that decision that it's time. That's what propelled me to move forward and go after what I truly wanted. And one of the first thing was to shift my mindset, because if you can't shift your mindset, how can you advance forward? Like, you know, that was the key, you know.
Right. Right. You know, you said, you no, thank you for sharing that, Eva. That is amazing. You said a lot of key points that I remember that stand out to me. Number one, when you started to when you were going through things, you knew something wasn't right, like within your mind. And you know what this reminds me of is that to say to everyone what you have reminded me to say right now here to everyone listening and or watching, that it just solidifies the fact that it doesn't matter how much money you have. It doesn't matter how much traveling you're doing. If you're not right here, none of that matters. If you're not within harmony with yourself, if you're not balanced within yourself, if you're not happy with yourself, something is always going to be off. You have to be balanced spiritually, mentally, emotionally. Otherwise, it doesn't matter. So, yes, I resonate with you in regard to the traveling because I love traveling. Matter of fact, I'm traveling somewhere today.
Where are
Yes.
you going? Where are you going?
Uh, First stop, Paris, France.
Oh, oh my God,
Yes, so we're
amazing.
going to be there for a bit, and then we're going to leave from Paris, France, to an island country outside of Africa, actually not too far from Madagascar, called Mauritius.
Oh
And
wow.
yes, yes, yes. So there's a lot of the culture there is Creole, French, African, Indian, and Chinese, all
Wow.
mixture there.
I hope
Amazing.
you have an amazing trip. That sounds so much fun.
Yes, I love traveling just like you. I have not been to half the amount of countries that you mentioned that you went to, but nonetheless, I'm on my way. I'm checking the list off because
There
that's
you
another
go.
thing too. And I don't want to get off the subject, but I also believe that traveling is amazing. It gives you experiences and it helps you to learn about people, cultures, traditions, and just helps you all around be a well-rounded person to travel and go different places. I think that's amazing that you do that. And I'm a strong advocate for just travel. I believe everyone should get out
Yeah.
there because
Oh yeah.
otherwise, when you talk about the mindset, if you haven't experienced different places, you're going to have a certain mindset in a box from just being where you are. And
Yeah, that is so true. Yeah, it's
yes,
so true. Like I've been with World Vision Canada to El Salvador because
right,
I don't just travel for I've done different traveling from
right,
volunteering work to traveling for as a vacation to actually meeting one of my mentors, Kathleen, in Miami for a business one. So I've done different kind of travel from luxury to not so luxury.
right,
And every experience taught me something different, but actually in the next book that I'm writing for the ripple effect of impact, I'm
right,
actually get to share my story how I went with World Vision Canada to help in Salvador to build homes, right?
right,
So it's all in the, I don't know, it's just I don't know. I'm addicted to travel. Now I'm addicted to learning and expanding my mindset.
me too,
And it's I don't know. I couldn't go back to who I was. Like once you get
right,
to a certain point, you just can't turn back. And the
right,
thing is, why I coach what I coach is because I believe it all starts in the mindset. I mean,
right,
there's different areas, but like you said before, you're not gonna be fully fulfilled until you start balancing every area of your life. Because
right,
I know some people out there, they're brilliant businessmen, but their relationship like family or something may be suffering or quite the opposite, right? So I believe in that balance, and then trying to balance it all as much as you can. I mean, we can never be perfect at it, but you know
right.
what, we can always advance one day at a time and move forward, and then you're gonna feel that fulfillment, um the joy in life that you truly can feel, and so much more, like it's such a vast topic. I can go for hours.
Oh, yes, exactly. Absolutely. Especially when you talk about personal development and self-empowerment. And then you mentioned some mentors that I consider people to be mentors of mine. I'm students of Wayne Dyer. Love Wayne Dyer. I have a few books from Wayne Dyer, and I've watched a lot of segments and listened to him a lot on YouTube. Love the late Wayne Dyer. Love the late Bob Proctor, and his whole um, elements about paradigm shifts and all that. But you are absolutely right. It's in the mind, and
Yeah.
it's all about the mind and perspectives. And that's amazing that you are deep diving not only into yourself, but through your experiences and through what you went through and what you're learning, you're able to use that passion to help other people. So give us a little insight. So how would people um, connect with you to seek out your expertise and your services? Do you usually meet with people one-on-one, or how does that usually work? Or they reach out to your website and then you start working with them and asking questions? Give us a little bit of insight on how that works.
For sure. I don't know if you have my link tree
Yes, I have it.
there. That's probably the best one at the moment to get in touch with me, because there you can either email me, book a
Right.
call on Calendly to talk to me, have a free discovery call, or check out my social media, which I'm usually on YouTube and Facebook at the moment. That's where I'm mostly at. But that's the link tree is the best way to get in touch with me at the moment. Yeah,
Yes.
because
And
I'm
what
doing reconstruction of the page and everything. So at the moment, Linktree is the best way.
Absolutely. And what I will be sure to do is incorporate not only your bio and what you do, but that link tree link into the description of this segment when it's completed and edited and uploaded, so that everyone can just go into the description and click on that link so they can see more about you, find out more about you, and also connect with you if they
Thank you
that
so much.
resonates.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's
yes,
greatly appreciated. Yeah,
absolutely. And I love your story. I love how amazing a person that you are. You've always been that amazing person, and I believe that about everyone. Everyone's extraordinary, has their own unique journeys and talents, but You know what? I always know, I know it now, not believe, but I know it now. When somebody gets to a point, anyone gets to a point where they're able to look at their experiences, that they've went through, that really weren't at the time, that were adverse experiences, and able to learn and grow from those experiences, and then not only continue to grow, but to become an advocate of change for other people. That's powerful. And those are the type of people that I look towards for guidance, look towards for to exchange ideas, and look towards, their services. So I would strongly recommend that people seek you out, that are struggling or have struggled with anything in life, because you are the type of person that can relate to all of that. And especially just a little bit you've shared with us in regard to leaving Poland and struggling and just other things, and we're traveling and still something wasn't right in your mind, and also did not want to leave that type of mindset in the next generation, which was your child. And that's amazing that I commend you for looking within to recognize all that, and to start working on that and eradicate what you don't want. And it's an ongoing process. So that's
Of
amazing.
course. Yeah, of course. Because you know what? Life will throw things at you, challenges and things like that. But you know what? With a different mindset, you can
Right,
just approach them from a different angle,
right,
you train yourself. Like I used to play in these mind tricks and things like that, and I was like, okay, where am I at now? Like, what am I thinking? Where am I at? And I was like, whoa, like you pull back, there's ways, there's techniques to always help yourself, but you have to want to do it, make
right.
that decision. But anyways, sometimes we dim that light within us, and then we find it, other so many things happen, death of a loved one or something else happens. You know what? That light sometimes gets dimmed for a little bit, but then we get up, we continue, and we keep advancing forward, like live the extraordinary life you're meant to be, you know
Amazing. And just to touch a little bit more again, just so we don't forget, what are the titles of your books again, and where can we find those books?
The first one is called The Midlife Awakening, and it's everything's actually on Amazon. I also have an Amazon author page under Eva Krempa. The next book is called The Never Give Up. Sorry, from the same publisher, but it's also on everything's on Amazon. And I also, but this one's directly through me. It's called the Daily Gratitude Journal. There's a link on the link tree if you want to get a copy. Just get in touch with me. It's a journey within. It's a 1 year gratitude journal with quotes from Napoleon Hill that I designed myself
Love
and
Napoleon Hill.
self-publish. So I can also share this one with if anybody's interested. So everything is on Amazon except for Daily Gratitude Journal. And the third book, I hope it's coming up sometime in January, The Ripple Effect. If anybody's actually interested to share their story, wisdom, anything they want to share, being the ripple effect of impact, we still have few spaces left. So if you're interested, reach out and we'll be able to tell you what the book is more about, how you can share your stories and things like that. So we still have few spots left. Maybe Luke, you're interested to share a story, you never know. There's still spots left. So I'm really excited because actually my name's gonna be on the front cover with Kathy, the book curator. So I'm super excited about this one. It's like a dream come true. But collaborations books are an amazing tool to share, and read about other people's stories. And I've read some of them. I cried, I laughed, everything, and people have such amazing stories to share.
Right, right. And that's amazing. I'm excited for you. And that
Thank you so
sounds like
much.
another amazing book. And I can see why that you are a #1 bestseller. People relate to real stories and stories of overcoming and finding solutions that will never get old.
Yeah.
We all need encouragement. We all want to be able to relate to someone who has went through similar adversities, and it's just amazing. And I can
Thank you so much.
see it. I can, even without reading your books. That's amazing. And like you, I would say I'm addicted to personal development now too. I read every day,
Yeah.
for a couple of hours, and I'm addicted also to and I don't even like to use that word addicted, but I just love it. I love learning, and I love reinforcing what I've learned, and I love getting different perspectives of what I already think I know, and
Mhm.
continuing to expand and just elevate my consciousness and
Exactly.
awareness. And
Yeah.
it's just amazing. And this is one of the ways I do it, by speaking to amazing, extraordinary people such as yourself. So
Thank you
this
so
is
much for having me here. It's such an honor, and to be able to connect with so many people around the world is and share the stories, it's all ripple effect, right?
right, right. And you mentioned another amazing person that I'm a student of, and that's Napoleon Hill. I have his Think and Grow Rich book and his Law of Success book, which is pretty thick, but it's an amazing book. And yes, I love
Yeah.
Napoleon Hill. He was a student of Carnegie, and yes, he was sent on missions that took years to develop the success mindset. Amazing. And just knowing that you are a student of his too already lets me know that yes, it's amazing.
Yeah.
And like I said, everything is unfolding perfectly. We were meant to have this conversation. You were meant to share your amazing insight and energy and enlightenment here. And I just appreciate it so much. Before we conclude this segment, are there any last things you would like to share, ideas, something coming up, or just a quote, or
Um,
some information, some encouragement for us? Anything you'd like to share before we close out?
sure. Never give up on your dreams, no matter how long they take. There are a dream, and go after it, whether it takes you a week, a month, or a year to go after it. Go after it. Never give up on your dreams, because everybody's different. Just because one person does it faster than another one doesn't mean anything. Everybody's different. If you have a dream, go after it. Never give up. Whatever you're after, never give up. I'm glad I didn't. And I had that travel in my heart that kept me going, because there was moments I almost give up, you know, when I look back, and I'm glad I did. So
Right.
never give up.
Amazing. Yes, yes. And you're yes, never give up. You're an advocate for that, and you're a shining example as to why. I appreciated engaging in this amazing dialogue with you today, Eva, and hope to have you back again, especially when you upon completion of your next book. Maybe we can actually dive into it and talk about it in detail.
For
That'd be
sure, I would love
amazing.
that. I would
Yes, and
love that.
I can order it, read it myself. That way we can interact and really get into it. So that's
For sure,
amazing.
yeah. That'll be
Yes.
I'm definitely looking forward to it, and I'll keep you posted when it's actually released, and then we can go from there. That'll
Yes,
be
keep
that'll be amazing. And then we can ripple effect more ripples into the world, and spread the joy and impact, and yeah, see whoever else gets inspired, right?
absolutely. That's what it's all about. Yes, that's
Exactly.
amazing. Thank you again, Eva, and thank you everyone for watching and or listening. Please subscribe, share, comment. Just yes, thank you. And yeah, show everybody this video and or audio, and inspire people. I
For
appreciate
sure.
everyone for tuning in, and send you love and appreciation. Don't forget to check out my website, and that's 333empower.com. See you soon. Love and appreciation.
Love and gratitude. Thank you so much for having me here. Take care.